They can only teach negativity. And this is what's happening. This is why the men's minds and their directions are changing. Because I'm going to say this. The black man's mind has always been and still is very, very vulnerable. Because what's happening is you have different instances and different propaganda that keeps them focused on slavery. It keeps them focused on being lynched. It keeps them focused on not being able to look at a white woman. It keeps them focused on what used to happen when they did look at a white woman. The things that they had to do, like if they saw a white woman walking down the street, they'd have to cross the street. It keeps them focused on the fact that white women were off limits. It keeps them thinking about the Jim Crow era. It keeps them thinking about the women in jail. So how do you move forward if you're being kept in the past? And this is what makes the black man's mind very, very vulnerable, because he's not educating himself with the times. Nobody's focused on back then right now. Everybody's focused on what I need to do in order to keep a roof over my head, food in my kids' mouths, keep my car running, put gas in the car, keep the clothes clean, keep the dishes washed, keep the house clean, raise the kids, make sure, these are the things that the current times are focused on. Nobody's focused on those things that are happening back then. And because of this, because of the black man's mindset right now, they're having a very, very difficult time playing the game of life. And so instead of them and the black manosphere to say, hey, we need to look at ourselves. We need to look at what we're doing. We need to not look outside of ourselves. We can't blame a whole nother individual that is not connected to us physically and pulling us and wanting us to go into another direction, and we want to go into this direction, but this person is so much stronger than me. This person has so much power over me that since I am stuck to this person, I have no choice but to go their way. No, that is not the case. These men, they are individuals. They are not attached to us at the hips. They have their own 2 feet. They have their own 2 legs. They have their own 2 arms. They have their own pair of eyes. They have their own pair of ears. They have their own mouth, and they have their own brains. The audacity of the black manosphere to blame the women for the problems that the men are having. I don't agree with it, and I'll never agree with it. Because if you get into a relationship with a woman, whether it be a marriage, a common law marriage, or just a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, and you create a baby, and you know that you like to have other women, so you automatically know the relationship is not going to work out. If I cheat on her, she's going to leave me. So why do you not have yourself in a position to pay that child support? Why does a woman even have to fix her mouth to even have to ask you for child support? Why does that woman even have to go to a court system for that child support? You already knew, according to your behavior, that this situation wasn't going to work out. So why'd you get her pregnant? these men out here that feel like they can't find a job because the black woman is taking all the jobs, or the black woman has the jobs. Like I continue to say, a lot of jobs that these women have, the black man is not qualified for. You guys are dropping out of college. As a matter of fact, let me tell you what you guys are doing that I know you're doing. What you're doing is you're enrolling into these community colleges, and you're getting the financial, and you're signing up for financial aid. And then once that financial aid check comes in, you drop out of the school because you were only there as a get some money quick plan. So you men don't take education seriously. You're using the college system as a way to get some fast cash. And then either when you have been afforded the opportunity to go to a university, you do a year or two, and then you drop out because you have no stamina. You have no longevity. I don't know why, but we all know that one of the reasons why is because a lot of these men join these fraternities, and pledging is something that will drain the life out of you. And then how do we know that some men aren't enrolling in college just to join a fraternity? So you see, what I'm trying to say is that these black men have all kinds of tricks and schemes and plots and plans to get something, but then don't think about the consequences of not finishing what they've started, only because they're only in it to get one specific thing. They're not really in it to get a degree. So by the time it's time for you to get out here and look for a decent job, look for a job that has some prestige, look for a job, a position that's respected, you don't qualify for it. The way the world is working right now, a lot of the majority of these jobs are requiring you to have some kind of degree, some kind of education. So you can only blame your parents for the first 18 years of your life. Okay, Ma, shit, I didn't graduate high school, we moved around, you was doing your thing, you was doing this, you was doing that. So the first 18 years, I can blame you for. But from 18 and up, you can't blame your parents, you have your own life. Now you are able to take charge of your own life. So here's an example. You're a black man, you're 18, you didn't graduate high school, you're looking for a job. The only job you can find is maybe in fast food, or maybe in housekeeping. Maybe you can, work at Walmart. Maybe you can do some retail. Maybe you can work as a cashier. The jobs that don't require an education. Now, if you wanted to really get yourself together, even though you didn't graduate high school, there are several colleges, community colleges, that offer GED programs. They will provide you with the necessary educational material and help you so that you can get your GED. And then once you get your GED, guess what? You can enroll in college. But see, you have to do this while your mind is still young and fresh. So what, you didn't graduate high school? Who gives a damn? You can get your GED. There's a way around that. The government has given you a way around that. So a lot of people don't graduate high school. They can have the most they can have the most stable home in the world, but for some reason they just don't graduate high school. Maybe it just wasn't in them at that time. But at 18, 19, 20, do you know at 30 years old, you can go get your GED. You can be 50 years old and go get your GED. So what I'm trying to say is that you're lacking guidance. And then when you do decide to listen to someone like these different leaders of these different sections of the Manosphere, they aren't leading you correctly. Because if I led a section of the Manosphere, say for example, if I led the masculinity movement in the Manosphere, and somebody came and said, oh yeah, these women, they just treat us like bitches, and they just talk to us like dogs, and they just do this, and I don't feel like a man, and what I'm saying, they don't make us feel like men. I'm like, hold up, stop the press. You are a man. What you need to do is you need to stand in your manhood. Just because some woman says a few words to you, that doesn't take away your manhood. You're a man. Just because a man says something to a woman, does that take away her womanhood? Do you hear women running around here saying, oh my God, you've taken away my womanhood? No, actually, women are out here fighting against their womanhood. We don't want to be women. We want to be equal. So, how can you sit here and say that someone is trying, some woman or women, are making you feel unmasculine? I would say, hey, hold up, stop. Because the way a woman treats you doesn't determine whether you're a man or not. Because if it did, my God. You understand what I'm saying? So, first of all, what you need to do as a man is you need to assess yourself. What have I got going on in my life that I'm not getting the response that I want from him? Not the response that I need, because you don't need a woman for anything if you got yourself together. If you are able to live independently of a woman, you won't need her. You will want her as a luxury to the things you accomplished in life. And so, see, that's what women are doing. Women are accomplishing things. So it's not that we don't need a man. It's that we want a man. But we don't just want any kind of man. He has to complement our lifestyle. So if I have myself together, if women have themselves together and men don't, then why do we need you again? Because that means we have everything that we need. Now we're ready to have relationship. Now we're ready to have sex. Now we're ready to have kids. But if the man isn't ready, how is that going to benefit the woman? You would be in a subservient role because you don't have yourself together. So if the man has himself together and the woman has herself together, then there's a meeting in the middle. So the woman is looking at him like, oh my God, look at this fine man, I gotta get my shit together. And then he can look at the woman and say, oh my God, what a competent woman. She's gonna be a great mother for my children because she has herself together. So it's not that women want to be greater than men. No, we want to be an asset to you just as well as we want you to be an asset to us. So you're complementing each other. So anyway.